What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is going to be a doozy right here. We have what smells to me a serial scammer. To me, it's just how this comes off. It reeks of a serial scammer, like Charles Ponzi type scammer. Except he claims to be, all about black love and black unity and black money and black schools and black kids and blah blah blah. And it comes down to, at the end of the day, some level of just seeking financial money than anything else. So we're gonna talk about Umar Johnson. It's not someone that I feature often on my platform, but one thing I do enjoy researching and reporting on is scams and schemes and fraudsters, and he definitely reeks of a serial scammer. That's just how I feel about it. That's my opinion on it. The end. Um, so there is a video that Umar Johnson did, and he's basically, talking about accounts being frozen, and he's asking for money for two different things. One for a school that has not opened in what, the 10 to 15 years he's been trying to get money to open it. And then, of course, for his personal use because reasons. Um, but before we get into this information, I want to give a shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. We got his video that we're going to be checking out here. Pocket Watching with JT is fantastic content creator. And I mean, that's what he mainly focuses on, is just, pocket watching. He looks at financial frauds and schemes and scams. And I have, you know, seen other content he's covered regarding Novatech, which was an international crypto scam spearheaded by these horrible, horrible people called Pettyons. Little girl Cynthia Pettyon and her husband and brother, and they ended up finally being hit with SEC charges last year. But of course, they call themselves running off to wherever they went, Panama, Mexico. I don't know or care where they went. I just hope they get collected soon. But he's done a few videos on Novatech, the Ponzi scheme that it is, and I just enjoyed his content then. And this was going back 2 or 3 years here. So he did, of course, a video covering Umar Johnson, and we're going to check that out. I also have some tax documents that, just doing a simple Google search regarding the school, FDMG, that Umar Johnson has been trying to open doors for 15 years on, and still has not done that yet, because it doesn't take 15 years to open up a school. And we're going to go over that. So make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe here to the Lady Luck Club. Thank you all so much for the support. Shout out to all the mods and members here. And also consider becoming a member, because, we have a good time. But I also try my best to get, a hard to obtain lawsuits and complaints and court documents and post there for the members to enjoy. So become a member and you will be able to view some of the court filings and lawsuits that you can't find readily available online. And also check out all the other great content here on the platform. Please consider also looking at the description of the video for the Dr. Squatch products and making a purchase. Yes, I do receive a commission. This is sort of a brand partnership that we have with Dr. Squatch, and I'm honored to have such partnership with them. So make sure you check the description for the products tag and check out some of the fantastic soap. They smell good, they get you clean, as well as the other toiletries that you can, you know, back to school's coming around the corner for your sons or your fathers, or just, because it's Tuesday. Check out the Dr. Squatch products. All right, let's get to it. So first thing I want to do is get to Pocket Watching with JT. All right, and I want you guys to please check out his content. Go on his channel, hit the thumbs up button, and support his content. And if you enjoy it, subscribe there. So I want to get started with this, and then we're going to go to the text filings that I came across in my research on this. And you guys, as always, let me know what you think in the comments section. But Umar Johnson gives off scammer vibes. Bottom line. So, all right, let's go.
For the first time in my life is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself, I have never asked the people for $1 in my life, but right now I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank.
This is Pocket Watching with JT. Hey, Pocket Watchers, we have breaking news that the Prince of Pan-Africanism himself, yes, Dr. Umar Johnson, is claiming that he is broke and he needs your help, your donations, so that he can pay his own bills. Now, before I give my official Pocket Watcher reaction, I'm going to let the good doctor explain the situation himself.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade, Intercontinental Ifatunde RB Jesus, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes.
Yeah, this naming thing is just something else. And the fact that he feels the need to have to repeat himself with certain statements 2 and 3 times, it's not giving anybody, an alert to anything. It's just annoying. So hence why I had to speed the video up a little bit, because it becomes a nuisance. I mean, we hear you the first time you say it, but at this point, if you can't prove that this school is anywhere near completion after 15 years, you don't need to say something 3 times just to draw attention to it, thinking that you're going to get more money. I think it's foolish to keep giving this man money to begin with. All right, let's go on.
I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my continental Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Australian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Africans in Europe and Asia. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Brazil and my South American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to Panama and Costa Rica, my Central American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Canadian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my New York, my Carolina, my Texas, my Phoenix, my Philly, my Jersey, my Maryland, my Baltimore, my Georgia, my Florida, my Arkansas, Alabama, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City Africans. It's your big brother King Kong. I need y'all to listen up. I got a very important announcement. I'm only going to keep you a few minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. This morning, I received a text.
First of all, if you're doing something from the kindness of your heart, you don't need to announce it. He didn't even have to start with that. He could have just said, if it be true that I got a notification from my bank that my accounts were frozen. I mean, does he not have online banking? Could he not just tried to log on to see what's going on here? I know if I have some suspicious activity on my bank account, I get a text alert and an email alert. It's called a notification, you clown. Why didn't you just have your bank send you notifications so that if there is something suspicious going on with your bank accounts, because he says both bank accounts, one related to his personal use and the other related to this FDMG school that has yet to open in 15 years. And if you had fraudulent activity going on, the bank would have reached out to him. He would not have had to find that out the hard way. But, okay. Go off, you scammer.
Text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th, only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what.
July 10th. When did this video come out? He did this video, not Pocket Watching with JT. I'm talking about Umar Johnson's video. Umar Johnson did this video, 2-3 days ago? So let's say July 25th. If you haven't checked your account since July 10th, you've gone 15 days without checking your bank account? Who does that? That has to be the most absurd and illogical thing ever, where you're a grown-ass adult and you don't even check your own bank account for 15 days. But let me remind you all, he has a YouTube channel with 222,000 subscribers. So any video he does, if he gets at least, 5,000 to 10,000 views, he's going to generate revenue on YouTube. So did he not get a YouTube check on the 21st or the 22nd of July? I'm just curious to know here. Is he completely demonetized or something? because that's at least a check coming in. So you mean to tell me, let's say he quite possibly got a YouTube check on the 22nd. You didn't check your account to make sure that that money hit your account from YouTube, and you have a whole channel with over 200,000 supporters and thousands of views per video. Get out of here. Some
what was going on.
nonsense.
And the bank told me
Buffoonery.
to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account.
Card number?
They had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my person.
How would they know to verify that after you put in a 16-digit card number? Why put in a card number? If you have a bank account, wouldn't they ask you for your actual bank account number? Why wouldn't the first thing they ask you to give to verify your account be your account number, not a bank debit number, a card number? It would be your account number. Your account number is not the same as a debit card number. 16-digit card number is not the same as your bank account number. This is what I'm saying about him just sounding and smelling scamish as hell.
Personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank
Why
accounts
would
have been
that one
frozen.
be frozen?
Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to.
They wouldn't. What the hell? You any suspicions of fraud activity on your part on your own accounts? What kind of shit question is that? It's not something you ask the bank. Is that fraudulent activity on my part? They're gonna be like, if you're trying to do something fraudulent with your own bank account, then we would freeze it for our safety and security measures here. And then, of course, yes, you would be investigated by the fraud department of that bank. And it sounds like that's what happened. He tried to do something and it locked his account up, because I don't even want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he forgot his password when he gave them a 16-digit card number. So that's why it would be illogical to say, well, maybe he forgot his username and password. Well, he called them and he gave them a 16-digit card number. So the username and password will be irrelevant. They tell him there's no history of an account, but then he asks, is it due to something I've done fraudulently? The only thing to come out of that would be is if he did something fraudulent and they froze it or they locked the account, or sounds like there's a actual federal investigation going, because only the feds would have the authority to really get a court order or subpoena of some sort to have your funds frozen. And I'm sure if you're talking about opening up a school for 15 years, lying about how much money you've raised for this school, I mean, why would the school account be closed? So it's not just one or the other, it's both. Is there perhaps a chance, Umar Johnson, that you were spending money from the school account for your personal use when it probably should have been going towards the school expenses? Like, you claiming that the flooring will be put down soon. How much is the quote for floors to be put down inside of a school building? It's based on the square footage of the building itself. I mean, what's the average cost, the quote that someone can give you to say, hey, it's going to cost X amount of dollars to put down the floors in this school? If that be the case, then why don't you show the quote?
Suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account in the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. They have given me no definitive time.
They've given you no definitive timeline, but you're asking people to give you to the end of the month to see if it gets cleared up. The bank will give you an ideal timeline if it's something that the bank's fraud department is investigating. That is based on their internal, bank rules and processes and procedure there. Every bank is not the same, but ideally a bank would tell you, it'll take 30 to 45, maybe to 60 days to do an investigation or a trace to figure out what's going on with your account if there is truly some, suspicious activity on your accounts. Perhaps with a transaction that was not supposed to go through, or if it's an unusual transaction, or if it's a transaction with an unusual amount. So if you go to a store you've never been to before, if your bank cares a little bit, they might put a hold on that transaction and have you verify it, because this is something new, it's unusual. Or if you go out and make a huge purchase, for $1,000, and that's not normal, you know, bank activity, and your bank decides to put a hold on that transaction and have you verify it. If the funds are there, then you call in, you verify, and then they clear the money. What he sounds like he's saying here is someone's investigating and put a freeze on both the accounts, and they won't tell me why. And let's just see what happens. No, that sounds like the feds have been pissed off or something, and they're ready to get an idea of what's going on with your money that you claim should be going towards certain things, and you're not doing that. That's just me.
Timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th. That's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when Medea went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. July the 10th, that's when
Let's just say we don't know who this Medea is, and somehow we've, managed to not automatically assume that Medea is not the same as the Tyler Perry Medea. Who is Medea? Let's just, for shits and giggles, assume this is our first time watching anything with you, and we have no idea who Medea is. And it's not Medea's Tyler Perry Medea. Who the hell is Medea?
left for South Africa. So y'all know my activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense.
I highly doubt it. I mean, they would have told him that this, Medea and Dr. Bussy or something. Maybe it's a joke or something like that. But they would have been, probably arrested and charged of some sort for fraudulent bank activity.
I was told they could be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/UmarThe PSYCHOLOGIST, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215.
Does he have a psychologist degree? And why is it that, okay, I understand PayPal may have other means for you to get money, But why are your accounts frozen again? He's not saying why. He's not saying, hey, the feds came and they froze them, or, I got locked out of them because somebody hacked into them or anything like that. He's not even saying why they're frozen. I mean, they might not even be frozen. He may have just exhausted the money in the accounts. Probably doesn't have any. Time to be honest.
989-9858, 215-989-9858. I've never asked
Oh
the
my
people for a
God.
dollar. I have never asked the people for a dollar in my life. I have never asked the people for a dollar in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when the situation is going to be resolved.
How do you have utility and internet bills for a school that's not open? Why are you caring about the bills and not the flooring? Wouldn't you care about the floors being put down first before you care about internet? Is he insane? Does he not think that people can see past him? I must say this, because I know he has a cult-like following. Please understand, this man has not died on any cross for anyone's sins, nor will he help you pay your rent. Apparently, if he's begging for money like this. So I can say this with pride. He doesn't owe me anything and I owe him nothing. But you got to be able to see through this. He won't say why the accounts were frozen or how long they're going to be frozen. Why is the school's account frozen? And he turns around and still asks for money to put down flooring. Oh, God.
If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors. Newark, New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina, I'ma see you. Kenya, January, I'ma see you. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for a certificate of occupancy. I don't have any money in my pocket because my account is frozen.
15 years.
You can send a few dollars to Dr. Umar for Apple Pay or PayPal. I would greatly appreciate it.
15
Black Queens
years.
forever. Snow bunnies never. Enjoy your weekend. Leo season forever. Peace and Pan-Africanism.
15 years.
All right, Pocket Watchers, that is what the good doctor has to say about the situation. He is claiming that both his personal and business bank accounts are frozen, and it is because of his very many haters. Now it's time for the Pocket Watcher conspiracy theory. This is where I use my education and experience as a real financial advisor to come up with an alternative explanation as to why Dr. Umar is where he is today. All right, so now let's go pocket watching. Here we go. I have every single tax return this man and his organization has filed with the IRS. I have the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and the most recent 2024 tax return. According to each and every tax return for the past 5 years, his organization has collected over $400,000, $405,913 in donations. Now, here's the thing that's a little bit odd. 2 out of the 5 years, this man is claiming that he collected absolutely no money in donations. So in 2020, this man claims he did not collect 1 penny in donations. And in 2022, this man is claiming he accepted or collected absolutely no money in donations. Now that seems extremely odd for a man who posts videos online like this.
Donations, 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 donations,
I told y'all
donations,
about scammer vibes.
Gifts,
Scammers.
gifts,
Scammers.
more gifts, more gifts.
It's extremely hard to believe that this man was able to go a full year, 365 straight days.
I have some tax documents that I'm going to show you all as well because it goes back to 2020. But I believe if you wanted more, you can just pull up a search on it. May have to pay for it, but they're there. So But this goes back to 5 years. I believe that's how far it went back in JT's video. But yeah, we're gonna see it. All right, let's get to it.
Now, that sounds good if you're trying to make money, but the problem is this. Over that 5-year period, he is claiming that every one of those dollars was spent in only one tax year, 2021. So you're telling me in 2020, 2022, 2023, and 2024, you spent absolutely nothing in business expenses. So no utilities, no repairs, nothing in 4 out of the 5 years of the organization. In your words, that sounds a little bit...
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah.
You don't find that suspicious?
Another thing that seems a bit odd is the fact that over that 5-year period, each and every year, Dr. Umar Johnson is described as the executive director of the organization and claims that he works 60-hour weeks every single week out of the year over a 5-year period. But yet he claims absolutely nothing in compensation. He gets paid nothing for all that hard work. All right, so now let's dive deep into these numbers and see what the story says. So based on the information provided by Dr. Umar and his tax filings, FDMG had a cash balance at the beginning of 2020 in the amount of $518,048. Pretty good. Over $500,000 in cash at the beginning of 2020. But by the end of 2024, its cash balance was $56,162. So that means during that 5-year period, the cash of this organization decreased by $461,886. But it gets worse, because we actually have to do the math on the profit and loss of each year. Based on the information that's provided in the tax returns, the organization actually had a positive cash flow of $330,501. That means the organization made money over that 5-year period. So when we actually run the numbers, that's a discrepancy of actually over $792,000. But we were able to dig into the numbers and see where some of that money went. Well, based on the information, in 2020, that is the year where the real estate of the organization was purchased. Now, I'm giving him saying that he spent $436,996 on the real estate. That may not be the true number, but that's what he claims the property is worth. So I'm going to give him that as a cash deduction. Now, he also claims that he paid off $54,361 worth of debt. So that is also a deduction from the cash balances. And he also claims that he was able to invest $141,278. So we still have a discrepancy of almost $160,000. So where did this money go? So we have Dr. Umar Johnson claiming that both his personal and business bank accounts have been frozen due to the evil and jealous acts of his haters. But as another option, we have the pocket watcher conspiracy theory that could say, listen, maybe the IRS and other government agencies are looking at these tax returns that have crazy inconsistencies of money coming in and money going out, and they put a hold on the account because they have the same questions that the pocket watcher has. Where is the money going? If you're working 60-hour weeks, why are you not getting paid? How can you have multiple years where you claim you had absolutely no money in donations, but at the same time you claim that you have multiple years and absolutely no money in expenses? Maybe, just maybe, it's not your haters who has your financial situation in trouble. Maybe it's your own inability to properly report the inflow and outflow of cash for the organization. And for those of you who are unaware, both the state of Pennsylvania and the Internal Revenue Service has already put Dr. Umar Johnson and his academy on notice
so
that
the
he
IRS
is unable to
account
collect funds as a nonprofit organization because of his lack of transparency and providing the financial information they requested. Thanks for watching Pocket Watching with JT. We are going to stay on top of this story. Subscribe and hit the like button.
Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. That was awesome. That was awesome. So basically, we went over 5 years of tax documents, and here are the tax filings on projects.propublica.org, where you can typically get the fact statements of any nonprofit organization, for-profit organization. And as you all can see here, it did say that the net assets was $634,436 for 24. And then of course you go down, got $640,980 for 23. Net income, of course, was $204,822. Zero net income for 22, but net assets $634,430. He has a net income $41,173, In 21, net assets is 650,301. So he can't say he wasn't making any money or anything. That would be a lie. Clearly, he's raising funds. And of course, he lied about, some of the years because it should have been a carryover from the previous year as far as what he reported on, let's say, the 2021 taxes, right? He would put down some amount like this on zero on 2020. But then when he does the 2021 taxes and then they ask what he earned from the prior year, then he will have a number there. And it's like, at least be consistent. Don't, just fail to fill in some blocks or whatnot, knowing they're going to catch that inconsistency. So whatever income that I have for this year, I have to make sure that I reported on my taxes for next year along with the previous year's income that I gained. Those numbers simply need to match. They're not asking you to do rocket science. They just want you to be consistent with it. So you guys can go on this website and play around with it. You have his EIN number. This is 84-517-9390. I mean, honestly, if you feel something's going on, report the FDMG Leadership Academy. Someone should probably be thinking about a lawsuit so that he can get deposed. And then he'll have to explain everything he's done with the money. Because if not, this purported scammer that he's coming off to be is going to continue to get away with it. And asking for money, for help, for this, for that. I mean, it's insane. It doesn't take 15 years to build the school, So if it hasn't been built by now, it probably won't be. But either way, he's trying to get you all to fund his lifestyle and the school without him having any responsibility on it. Does he even have a job or no? Like, my God. All right. That's all I got for this one, you all. Thank you. You guys can check out the tax filings and go into detail on ProPublica's website. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you go on JT Pocket Watching with JT's channel and check out his video as well. And give him a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe if you do. And then subscribe here to the Lady Luck Club as well. We're growing. And we will be monitoring what's going on with Umar Johnson now because, in my mind, he's a whole serial scammer. All right. That's all I got. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves and each other. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.